project. So yeah,
Cool.
it gets more powerful as you use it. And then of course you learn how to use it better. So that's all part of it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So we'll get into that. First, let's get into a brief overview of your background, and then kind of your work with specifically, some of the clients you've done, specifically the one that we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. So I'll give you the long rundown in a short amount of time here. So basically, was not a great student in school and in college, and flunked out of college and ended up in sales because, back in the 80s, that was 80s, early 90s, I guess. That was about all you could do without a degree that would pay well, right? So, pre-internet, all that stuff. So I got into sales. My dad was in sales his whole life. So I learned a lot of sales and persuasion. And then somewhere around early 2000s, I heard about this thing called copywriting, which was, I'd always enjoyed writing. So when I heard that there was this profession out there that you could write and do sales and combine those two things and stay at home instead of being on the road, 4 nights a week, like I was doing in sales, I was doing in-home sales for a financial company. So I was like, that sounds like the dream career. So I started doing that and really did that starting full time back in 2008. It's about 12, 13 years now. And as I've gone and learned marketing and everything, I've gone from just writing copy to being a consultant in marketing for companies, come in, for a year, whatever, with companies, kind of run their marketing department, get the copy team fine-tuned and things like that. So, so yeah, that's basically me over the last 25, 30 years, I guess, is sales, copy, marketing, do a little coaching as well, around, because I believe it's all language. Like everything we want to do is, I tell my clients all the time, everything you want is on the other side of a conversation you're not having. And that could be by email. That could be a sales conversation. That could be a conversation with your spouse or any other relationship. Like
kids.
I promise you, kids, I promise you everything you want's on the other side of a conversation you're not having right now.
Yeah.
So to me, all those consulting, coaching, copyright, it all kind of fits together because you need to know how to be persuasive in all of those things, right? To sell your idea, sell your point the way you want it to come across.
Yeah. I mean, copywriting is basically what's the old saying? It's like salesmanship on paper,
Yeah. Salesmanship in print. Yep.
Yeah. So basically if, you're having that conversation, but you're having that conversation in print and paper, the person can read it. So we're not simply talking about, technical jargon, marketing jargon that's often used in technical fields, which is not a conversation at all. It's just a bunch of
if anyone's not seen, wasn't here last time I was on the show, like the example emails I'm going to show today will probably surprise a lot of people.
Sure.
But the fact is they get read, they get remembered.
Right.
They build rapport, they build top of mind awareness. They do a lot of things, even if they don't directly drive a sale on that day.
Yeah.
And they do drive some sales, but everybody's not going to buy every day anyway. So you want to do stuff that nurtures the list as well.
Right. And you got to get attention. So that's the bottom line. People are inundated. I saw a billboard yesterday. I'm driving through Nashville and I look over to the left and there's a billboard that says, if your billboard is boring, no one's, something to the effect. I wish I could remember it point blank. I actually snapped a picture of it, but while I was driving, which is so, that's not dangerous or anything in the middle of Nashville, but to the point is if your billboard's boring, then no one's going to take notice. You're wasting your money. So it's so true. You got to do something to get the people's attention and shake them out of that kind of that coma that they're in, that everyday coma. They just go through life. So,
well, speaking of billboards, I heard Buc-ee's is coming to like Crossville or somewhere in there. So you'll have billboards all the way across Tennessee now, all the way across I-40, both ends, both directions.
Yeah. I can imagine they will be lined up all the way to that exit. And exit
Buc-ee's
407.
Buc-ee's have great billboards too. So.
Oh, they absolutely. Yeah.
So
And that's a great example. That's some of the best marketing. Cause we don't have any Buc-ee's now, but we talk about out in your neck of the woods, you're in Austin, you go out in Texas, you see one you see Buc-ee's everywhere. But those billboards are what captures your attention. Like you're almost there, it's kind of leading you kind of to the point where you're actually hit that exit. You're not just hit all of a sudden and you're like, oh wait, no, you've known about that for some time.
Yeah, the anticipation, they kind of build that as you
Yep.
go. I mean, I think the furthest one is like there's a billboard that says like 737 miles, you can hold it.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like I think it said clean restrooms, 737 miles, you can hold it, or something crazy like that. Like it's a long ways away. But they actually, once you get there, it's a whole nother marketing experience.
Sure.
But they established their whole brand on clean bathrooms.
Yeah.
I mean, that was their thing when they started. And, to this day, when you go into the restrooms at Buc-ee's, you're like, wow,
yeah,
this is amazing.
And the brisket and the
brisket and the beef jerky and the beaver nuggets. And I mean, somebody said it's like, I mean, these places are 50,000 square foot for those listening that kind of know square footage. That's the size of an older Walmart, probably not the new super Walmarts, but the older Walmarts probably from 15, 20 years ago.
Sure. Yeah. No, they have everything. I mean, everything that you can imagine.
It's like a cross between like a giant, 7-Eleven, a Cracker Barrel, because they got a store with all their own branded material, a giant deli. Like it's just a mix of everything, and 200 plus gas pumps, and a lot of them, and that's with no truck stop. It's just,
that's right.
So it's crazy.
Just nothing but like 50 or 60 pumps. No, probably 80 pumps.
The ones here, like in Waco, I know I think it's right at 200 pumps.
Yeah.
It's insane.
That's unbelievable. So, that's crazy.
But all right, well, let's talk some copy.
All right. So you've got some examples. I know we were talking last week.
Yep.
So you have a client that's specifically in the granite countertops that does, so they probably do more than that, but
for quite a few years, I worked with a company that actually sold all the tooling material and things like that to the granite countertop fabricators, so the people that sell to the end users. And now I'm working with a company that actually sells to the homeowner.
Okay.
And some contractors, but mostly homeowners. And they've got 7 or 8 locations kind of in the Midwest area. Mm-hmm. So I'll write their emails for them, do some other marketing copy for them. We're slowly rolling out more and more stuff for them, but that's what I do. So I'm familiar with both the supplier side of that industry and the retail side of the industry.
Sure.
So
how often do you send out would you send out an email to their list?
So we do emails twice a week. We do like a Tuesday and a Friday. Mm-hmm. And this company, they have a great selection. They do great work. They don't do a lot of sales. So these are not like e-commerce type driven things where it's always a promotion or anything like that. It's definitely more of a nurture. Mm-hmm. People come into the showrooms, they don't buy, they get on the list, and we start to just communicate with them and keep them top of mind so that when they do decide to do their countertops, we're the people they think of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or if they hear of a friend doing it, then they'll tell the friend, hey, I get these weird emails from this company, but they're fun. And, you should go check them out.
That's right.
And you'll see a lot of companies will be very uncomfortable with what some of the examples I'm going to show.
Right.
But
that's the whole point, right?
Yeah. It's
same as laying. So you got to do something different.
And people like personality, and it can be a little scary if you're the sender at first, and you will absolutely get some pushback from some people on the list, but it's usually the vocal minority. Sure. But you'll also get a lot of people who will be like, I love these emails. These are great. Like it's, because they're human. It's human to human. It's not company to consumer. Yeah. It's just,
and what do most people feel like if they're always getting sales emails? They'll eventually, most people unsubscribe, because they feel like they're always just getting hit up with the promotion. So
I unsubscribed from, 2 or 3 emails this morning because I was just like, I got to clean out my inbox from brands that I buy from, but they just send too much without any, and it's just pure e-com sales stuff.
Yep.
So one of them was smart and they gave me the option to downgrade, to once a month or whatever.
Sure.
So I can kind of stay on their list, but not 3 or 4 times a week where they're just pounding me. Yep. So what I like to do in my emails is I like to, and we're going to talk about this on our other podcast. I basically come up with 4 different kind of ways to communicate with the list.
Yep.
And so what I do when I sit down to write is I think of kind of what's going on in my customer's journey, not my customer, but the end user that's going to be reading the email, like what's going on in their life today or this week or this month. Right. So I think about, like right now, today I sat down and wrote an email and, in fact, I'll just go ahead and pull it up.
Okay. I'm going to switch my camera angle. So let's see. So I can be looking at my screen directly.
All right. Let me share the screen. Oh no. Hopefully I have my screen ready. There we go. Can you see that?
There we go.
How about those blue bonnets in the background for Texas? Huh? That's awesome.
That's nice.
All right. So I took the,
can you zoom in on that a little bit? Just so, because if you don't, I'm going to have to pull my reading glasses over here. I don't want to do that on the screen.
Yeah. So I've taken, it's a little too blurry probably. All right. So I cut off some of it, but basically this is all the body copy. So I sat down this morning to write the email. It's like, okay, it's 4th of July weekend. Probably not a lot of people just shopping for counters this weekend. They're probably doing other things, going to the lake, going to the pool. So I don't want to just try to convince them that they should come visit the location and buy a countertop this weekend. Right. That's
right.
It's just not, one, it's just not cool. And it's probably not going to happen anyway. So why would I try to fight an uphill battle?
Right.
So I was like, what would be useful to send to these people that would establish some goodwill and, kind of make their life a little easier this week. So it's like, well, it's Friday. So probably everybody's going to the grocery store today to stock up for the weekend. Like that's probably what they're doing. Right. I mean, a lot of people in household, especially, the women in the household that are probably making a lot of these decisions are typically the buyers for these, or the final decision makers for this. So what I did is I did a subject line, and the subject line, which I cut off here, but the subject line was crack, boom, bang, ooh, ah. Right.
That's great.
So obviously those are sounds of fireworks. So, and then I opened up. So when you do a subject line that's a little, different and a little either curiosity or something like that, you want to do what I call pay it off in the first 2 or 3 sentences so that there's a clear tie in from the subject line to the body copy. So I like to try to do that in the first 2 to 3 sentences. So in this one, I was able to do it in the first sentence. So I said, normally we don't like hearing crack, boom, or bang around here, right? Because that would mean countertop broke.
Right.
But this weekend it's Independence Day, and we're excited to see a few fireworks and fire up the grill in the outdoor kitchen. Maybe spend a little time in the water with the kids too. So, it's friendly. It's like, okay, yeah, we're going to be doing the same thing. Cool. These are my people, right? There's some rapport going on there. There's some, this is not just a company. This is a person talking to me. And when the temps rise, maybe move inside and gather around the kitchen island. So I still threw in a little bit of what we do, right? Get them thinking about that kitchen island, having other people around it. They probably might like it to be bigger or different or whatever, but I'm not saying that that they should change anything. I'm just gently kind of throwing that little bit of, reminder out there. And I also write a lot about outdoor kitchens, because even our customers that have done their counters inside may not have done an outdoor kitchen yet. And that's a big trend, for another place to do counters and things like that, is to, build something out around the grill. So Kitchen Island, just enjoy being with friends and family as we celebrate our freedoms and the ability to be with each other, right? So this year it's a little different. We're back open for a lot of people. And last year they missed this opportunity to kind of hang out with friends or do fireworks and those kind of things. So I'm bringing that back up as well. Now, if you're still putting your weekend menu together, here are some mouth-watering and eye-pleasing ideas from allrecipes.com. And I'll link out directly to the article on allrecipes.com that has like these 10 menu items that are all 4th of July themed. And I do this quite a bit because obviously the people that are buying kitchen counters like to be in their kitchen, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Any of the holidays, I typically do this. I'll grab recipes specific to that holiday, like Easter or, Memorial Day. Like there's, we're Americans. We love to have our food around holidays. Anytime we've got extra time, we want food. Or sometimes it's arts and crafts for the kids around certain holidays, things like that. And then I said, this red, white, and blue dump cake looks especially delicious.
Oh man, it does.
And then, put a picture in it. And then, but whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you'll take some time to simply reflect and appreciate the freedoms we get to enjoy. Have an amazing weekend. The Grand America team, hyperlink to their website. P.S. If you decide to come see us this weekend, we are open Saturday from 10 to 2, closed on Sunday, and open 10 to 6 on Monday. So super light. Hey, we are here if you want to come. If you got a little extra time and you want to stop by, but I'm not asking them to come in because we're having a 25% off, 4th of July sale. Right, because they don't really do. They already match low prices and do a lot of that stuff. So we don't do a lot of sales. They're already one of the lower price leaders. So that's that one, and that's the one I wrote today. And that's just kind of my thought process as I sat down to write it. Any questions or?
I love that. So I'm just curious, what's the open rate on that?
I haven't seen it today just because it went out, but
okay.
But I can pull open some.
Because I gotta imagine I love that. Because you're offering, there's something of value there that you're offering. I love that you included. Here's some mouthwatering ideas, for the weekend. That's offering a little bit of value. People stay in touch with you on that. People that offer, companies that offer something in addition to just trying to sell them all the time. I mean, that's good stuff.
Let me pull open the account so we can answer those questions.
Red, white, and blue dump cake with the scoop of ice cream. Oh man,
how could you not like that, right?
It's got me thinking. Forward me that email. Is that in the list? I mean, because if so, I need to.
All right, so this email just went out at noon. I think noon Eastern.
Yeah.
So, and we're recording this at right now it's 1 Eastern. So it's only been open for about an hour. Yeah. So I don't have any data yet, or not much has gone through yet.
Yeah.
Plus it's a holiday weekend. It might be a little bit lower.
Sure.
So, but I can definitely look at some of the older ones as we talk about those. So let me just
so you can be looking at that. So I guess you send out maybe, you say once a week, or is it
twice a week?
Twice a week. Okay.
I do a Tuesday and a Friday. It's typically what we'll send.
So this is a lighthearted, obviously there's no tie in to a particular product brand or anything like that. Obviously
Correct.
it's all just, giving them obviously some value, talking about the upcoming weekend. Are there some emails that you tie into, maybe you start off and then you kind of tie into one of the product lines? So
let me show you this one that I did last week. So the subject line on this one was "sweet deal?" ? And so that they don't have a huge list. So a lot of the people on this list have either already bought or things like that. So they don't have huge open rates anyway. But we're in the we're around 10% on most of these is where we're at, which is pretty standard. these days for a lot
Sure.
of lists.
Right.
It's higher when people are newer, things like that. But this one was titled "Sweet Deal?"
Yeah.
And so I opened it up with, so I was on the old Facebook last week and saw this image, and there's an image of the stairs with the, drywall kind of cut around. Yeah. It just does not look good.
Yeah.
So I write, now you don't need to be a professional to figure out something here isn't quite right. The woman who posted this pic was asking for ideas on how to fix it. And when someone wanted to know what contractor would do this, the lady replied, my friend's ex-husband who didn't know what he was doing.
Oh my.
Ouch. My guess is that the friend's ex-husband offered to do this cheap. And now the homeowner will probably spend more money and more time trying to fix the problem than the savings were worth. The point, I heard it said one time that if a deal is a little too sweet, it'll soon make you sick to your stomach. Bottom line, don't trust your home improvement needs to just anyone. Let the pros handle it. You'll be far happier in the long run. At Grand America, we are serious about quality and delivering a great product and a great experience. And if we do screw up, we'll make it right, as it should be. So when you or someone you know is ready, so are we, your friends in the countertop business. So
that's really good. I love how you tied that in. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just, I'm always on the lookout for things like this on social media, an article, things like that. So when I saw this, I was like, ooh, I could use that. Right. So you have to kind of train yourself to recognize opportunities to tell a story.
Sure.
And so this was somebody else's story that I just hijacked, didn't name any names or anything like that. And just use that as an example of like, oh, things can go bad. And now they're going to think, what this does subconsciously for the person is like, they're going to remember this email when they're talking to a company and they're thinking about hiring a contractor. This is going to be in the back of their mind somewhere, because we showed them that this is something that could happen, not to their counters, but just could happen with the wrong contractor.
Absolutely.
And we've said, we don't do this. And if we do screw something up, we're going to make it right. So we've already kind of overcome that concern in this email, and it's something that's like, it's just a good reminder that, hey, bad stuff happens if you hire the wrong people.
So to all of our listeners out there on this, I mean, this is gold, because what you're saying, what Sean has just showed you is that you don't have to come up with your own story. You don't have to tell your own story in these emails.
That's right.
There's stories all around us. And so he simply borrowed someone else's story and used it, in his copy, which is a great tie-in the way you did that. But you just have to, like you said, Sean, you have to be aware. You have to be thinking, when you read stories like this that kind of stand out and like, oh man, that's horrible. Well, guess what? We had a friend, a mutual friend last week, Tim Davis, who he was posting a picture of a hat that says, every mistake in life is a good story, right?
Yeah.
So there's plenty of mistakes around us, not only in your life, but things like this, disasters like this always make great stories people want to hear.
Absolutely. All right, so let me open up one more that's recent, and then I'll do a rundown of some others without really showing them, but all right, so this is one a couple weeks ago that I wrote, and I really wasn't sure exactly what to write. I don't remember what was going on that day. I can't remember exactly when I sent it out. I was feeling a little snarky, to be honest. So I was like, I got to write this email. So I'm sitting down to write it. And I just kind of I've got a Word document Google Doc that I kind of start with, and then I transport it over to Active Campaign. So I was like, okay, I just wrote down a subject line. Like, I don't edit, especially if I'm feeling stuck, then I just got to start writing and see what comes out instead of trying to figure out the perfect thing. So I just typed the subject line, you can delete this, ... So I was like, okay, that's something. Because that's literally how I felt. It's like, I almost felt like, I don't want to write this. You can delete this.
That's great.
So And then I said, hey, friend.
That's an attention grabber, though, because you're like, you're thinking, delete what? I got to know what exactly I need to delete.
Exactly.
What is
Right.
it?
It's one of those things. It's like, why would they say that? Like, nobody says that in an email. Right. And the fact is they can, right? They could delete any of them anytime they want. So it's not like, but at least I'm admitting that, hey, you can delete this. Like, it doesn't hurt my feelings. Like, that kind of stuff. So then I wrote, hey, friend, this email is supposed to inspire you to want to choose us when you upgrade or update your countertops. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of one of those techniques in copywriting where you kind of just, it's almost like breaking the fourth wall on TV, right? Like The Office did when they stare directly in the camera. That's kind of what this is doing. It's like you're telling them that that you're marketing to them, and they know that you're marketing to them, right? So I just kind of get that out of the way right up front. This email is supposed to inspire you to want to choose us when you upgrade or update your countertops. That or get you to tell your friends about us when they're looking, right? So I could get into some NLP there, like tell your friends about us when they're looking. That's an embedded command that their brain hears, even if they kind of just read over it. So little things like that's in there. But today, all I got for you are a few bad, you can see I crossed out the words intentionally, bad jokes from the countertop world. See, I told you could delete this, but now here you are wondering, what would a countertop joke even sound like?
Sure.
Will it be funny? Let's find out. So literally what was going on is that I had this, I don't know where the idea came from. Like I just started writing and I was like, I wonder if there's any like countertop jokes. And I literally typed in Google countertop jokes and there's a whole page of them that came up from a joke site. And I was like, this is crazy. You can find anything on the internet. So I just grabbed a couple of them and I put, dad, cross that out. Bad joke number 1. What did the countertop say to the bread dough? You're so needy. Bad joke number 2. Why did Miss Quartz divorce Mr. Quartz? He took her for granted.
That's great.
And then bad joke number 3. Did you hear about the thief who was robbing people to pay for his kitchen renovations? Yeah, I guess you could say he was taking things for granted. And then a one-liner. I don't know how people in the countertop industry make any money. They're so counterproductive.
That's great.
And then there are more, and I linked to the page with more of them. And then I said, but I'll spare you. Have a great weekend, great America team. And then my tie-in at the end, and sometimes I don't even do a tie-in, but in this one I did.
Sure.
P.S. All joking aside, when you or someone is ready to upgrade or update their countertops, we're here to help. And then put the locations and stuff.
That's great. Yeah.
It's lighthearted. It shows that you're not taking yourself too seriously. And so, if somebody's in like the process of thinking about updating or upgrading their countertops, I'd be willing to bet there's a good percentage of people that read this email that use one of these jokes next time they're talking about.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like,
plus you bring a smile to people. People are, they open something, and one of the goals that you're trying to do is to get them to at least smile, use some humor, inject some humor, get them to smile, because people that smile are more, they're more prone to be accepting and read further and think well of your company. Right. I mean,
exactly.
Make them laugh.
I mean, you just want to be friendly, with people and just, these are real people. These are not just names in your email autoresponder. They're not prospects. They're not customers. Like, I mean, they are those things.
Yeah.
But first and foremost, they're people. Like, how would you have a conversation with people if you were, you'd be friendly.
Yeah.
And they'll remember that. Like, you
Absolutely.
if people are just kind of cool and not always pushing something on you, but they're kind of staying in your life, when you're ready to do business, you'll typically call those people.
Sure. That's awesome. I love those examples. Thanks for sharing that too.
Yeah, no problem.
So let's look at, unless there's anything else you want to share here, I want to get into talking a little bit about this conversion.ai and just some examples that, and I got to mention too, I got this always tends to happen when I'm recording a podcast. Right outside my office, the yard guy comes. I mean, it's like he knows when I'm about to record a podcast, and he comes. He starts weed eating, starts getting on the lawnmower. So if you hear a big rumbling mower, on your audio, that's the lawn team.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, let's jump over and talk a little bit about this conversion. We're going to talk about AI, artificial intelligence, for writing copy. As you mentioned earlier, Sean, this isn't a do it for me software program. It's more of a supplement, to help you or help spur you along. I mean, because I can't imagine artificial intelligence writing. They're not going to come up with either one of those two type emails that you just showed us as an example. That's just not going to happen. But what it can do is probably give you some place to start and maybe spur you on, get some ideas flowing that you can inject into that.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you still have to have a little bit of a seed of an idea to come up with, but let me share again. Okay.
And by the way, we're talking about this software. I've been playing around with this account. My plan is to create some screencast videos to share on this website over at castpolymer.com. And I'll be sending a link to, because we're working on something like this with the association with the ICPA, possibly to talk about as one of our breakout sessions, maybe at Polycon coming up in September. So we're looking into more of this for all of our members who could benefit from this, just from a time standpoint. People don't have enough time to sit down and come up with ideas, and this might be able to save you some time, help spur on some ideas, for some of your emails.
Yeah. So this is called conversion.ai, and they call it Jarvis. In fact, I think they're going to be changing their name to Jarvis because it's cooler and easier to say, easier to spell. So it's basically your copywriting assistant. So what I've done is I've gone in. So if I go to my dashboard, there are templates that you can use. And this company, what I like about this company in the AI space, there's other companies that do similar things, but this one is was started by marketers. So they understand marketing, they understand copywriting, they understand direct response. So they have a lot of frameworks that you can use, templates that you can use for Facebook ads, blog post topic ideas, blog post outlines, all this kind of stuff. So I'm going to use PAS.
This is framework. The pro version, right? This is like the pro version.
Yeah, this is the pro version. Okay. And there is a version above this that they just launched. I haven't upgraded yet. That basically skips the templates, and you can just tell Jarvis what to do. You could just say, Jarvis, give me a PAS for whatever, right? So I'm just going to do this. So I'm going to say, we'll use my client. I've never done this before for this client. So I'm just going to put it here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to their website. I'm just going to grab the top of their website, and I'm just going to paste that in the product description. And in the tone of voice, I'm going to put authoritative. And then we're just going to hit the button, generate AI content. And this is under the Problem Agitate Solution Framework, which is one of the oldest frameworks in direct response. And boom, it just gave me 3, because that's what I asked for. It gave me 3 outputs. So where you might use something like this is a Facebook post, social media post. You could use this just as kind of a jumping off framework that you can then, so it says, the first one.
Can you zoom in on that a little?
Yeah.
Or just enhance your screen a little. I want to read that on the right side, especially.
Okay.
There you go. That works.
Okay. All right. Problem. Granite countertops can be expensive, and the process of finding a good contractor is hard. We are here to help you find the right material for your needs and budgets. We'll provide you with a list of contractors in your area. That's not exactly applicable for them. So it's going to come up with a couple different options, right? And it may not be perfect, but that's where we're saying, like, this gave me 3 things to start with that I can now edit a lot quicker. Solution, our website features a large database of granite suppliers. So that's not really what they do. Countertops are expensive. Process of installing them can be stressful. Granite America offers a new way to get beautiful countertops at bargain prices. By buying directly from the source, we cut out all middlemen and pass our state. That's actually pretty good. That is what they do.
Yeah, that's a really
so that one, it kind of nailed it, right? The only thing left for you to do is call us now. So there we go. That's almost doesn't need any editing. Problem: most people want to remodel their kitchen or bathroom, but don't know where to start. Perfect. Granite America is here for you. We'll help you every step of the way, from choosing your stone, designing a plan that fits your style and budget, and installing it flawlessly. Our team will walk you through every detail so you can enjoy the process as much as we do. Call us today, 1-800-GRANITE. Visit our website. So I don't know if the phone number is correct. You'd have to like check it, because it does sometimes pull stuff that you have to fact check.
Right.
But I mean, that's 2 out of 3. Like, I could literally drop those into a Facebook post,
sure, an
email, anything. And that took like 10 seconds to write. All I had to do is I literally wrote nothing. I copy and pasted.
Right.
And I got 3 different things here that came out. So let's do the same thing. Let's go back to the dashboard and let's look at the ADAI. So we'll do the same thing. So just to show you with the same exact information, but with,
and for our listeners, just remind them, what does AIDA stand for?
Yeah. So
attention,
attention, interest, desire, and action. So that's another basic framework, right? You get people's attention, you get them interested, you stoke the desire, and then you have a call to action.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to use the exact same stuff. Let's even use the same authoritative. You can just kind of pick a tone of voice.
What are others? Yeah. What are other options on a tone of voice? Like
witty, professional.
Okay.
All kinds of different things.
Okay.
I haven't played around with a lot of those, but there are a lot. So I'm going to hit generate content. It's doing its thing. It's thinking. It's pulling stuff from wherever it pulls stuff, the supercomputer that this is attached to. And it does take a little while sometimes because this is a bigger section, but boom, there we've got 3 different things, right? So attention, these are great for Facebook ads. Your top line of your ad might be, are you looking for a new countertop? Granite America has been in the business of installing granite countertops since 1978. I would just have to fact check that. I'm not sure if that's correct or where they pulled it from. So again, fact check. We are experts at what we do, and we've helped thousands of people just like you find the perfect stone for their kitchen or bathroom remodel. Our goal is to give you the best experience possible when it comes to your home improvement project, from choosing your stone to installing it with care. Not bad.
No, not bad at all.
Desire. If you're looking for an affordable way to update your kitchen, then look no further than our selection of beautiful granite slabs that will make any space feel luxurious and modern. Whether you want a dark black slab or one with lighter tones, we have something that will perfectly in any room. And if budget is an issue, don't worry. All our stones come at bargain prices, so there's always something within reach. Action. Click this ad right now and get started on your dream project today. I mean, that is like, I don't even have to edit that.
That's like, that sounds great. Yeah.
Other than the date that I just got to check, and actually I think that is correct. So I don't know if it went to the website. Like, I don't know what Jarvis does behind the scenes, but like that's pretty spot on. Do you want to remodel your kitchen? Granite America is a leading supplier of granite countertops in the United States. We have a wide variety of colors and styles, so we're sure to have something that will work for you. Our prices are unbeatable and our service is unmatched. You won't find another company with as much experience or expertise as us when it comes to countertops. With our help, you can transform your kitchen into an oasis of beauty and functionality. Contact us today for more information. So there I kind of gave 2 call to action. So I could probably just delete the last line.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you want to remodel your kitchen? And again, I think all 3 of these just nailed it. These are all 3 really, really good. Let's play with something else. Like, give me something from one of your industries.
Let's do,
give me a company or a product name.
Let's do something outside. I mean, just I'm trying to think. It's just something random. How about, let's do podcast, sound microphone. What about, podcasting microphones?
Okay. And we want to give a little bit of description. So let's just say that the best podcast mic for high quality audio and easy use. Right?
Okay.
Let's just have fun. Let's do witty and see what happens.
Okay.
All right. And this is still under the framework, right? So let's see what happens. Haven't given it a lot to work with. That's pretty basic stuff right there, right? So if I was wanting to, let's say I had an affiliate program and I was wanting to sell some podcast microphones, you know, let's see, it burped on me there. It didn't stick out the, oh yeah, it did. It just did at the top. I bet.
Oh, okay. It just puts it on at the
because I forgot to clear the old history. So
gotcha.
Now it's going to give me 6. All right. So, so 6, let's see. Yeah, here it is. Here's one of them. Let's find the first one. You're looking for a podcast microphone, but you don't know where to start. The best way to find the perfect mic is by understanding what your needs are. Do you need a versatile and easy to use mic that can be used in various settings, or do you want something more professional with high quality audio? We have the right product for every type of podcaster. With our microphones, it's never been easier to record podcasts from anywhere. Whether you're at home or on the go, we've got just the thing for all your recording needs. And if there's anything else we can help with, please contact us. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. Click this ad below and click this ad now and learn about our products.
That's incredible. That's
pretty amazing, right? I mean,
yeah.
Here's another one with a little bit different angle. Podcasting is a great way to share your thoughts with the world, but it's not always easy to get started. That hits, right?
Yeah. Sure
I mean, you and I are talking about actually, doing a course for a lot of our listeners and on how to get their podcast started. This ad would be perfect.
It would be perfect.
We could substitute like podcast course up here, for that. The best podcast mic for high quality audio and easy use. You'll be able to start recording in minutes without any complicated setup or expensive equipment. It's perfect for beginners who want a simple solution that sounds great. I mean, these are just out of the box. These are good. Like, not a lot of editing needed. Another thing you can do. So let's go to, let's say you don't. Let's go. I want to go back. And let me know when we're at time, but we've got a little bit.
We've got time. There's one other idea I want to.
So this is the blog top. A lot of people I know do SEO stuff for their sites, right? So this is for blog post topic ideas. So let's just say, let's do how to start a podcast. Keep it. I'm not even going to put a description in. I'm just going to. I'm just going to do, let's do podcast profits is the name. Let's do how to start a podcast. Audience will just say authors, just to be like a little bit different. And we'll just leave it at witty. And let's hit generate content. So remember, this is going to give us topic ideas. Let's see what happens. How to create a podcast intro. Should you start a podcast? So these are basically like your titles, right? So let's say, should you start a podcast? So I'm going to copy that because this is just idea generation, right? So copy that. Now I'm going to take it over to our blog post outline. I'm going to put this in here. Should you start a podcast is the title, the topic, and now it's going to give me an outline for the blog post. We need music for this.
I know. I should just have a Jeopardy button.
I know, on your button there. Absolutely. Probably have to pay royalties or something for that. Have to change 2 notes or something. So here's 2 it just came out with.
That's cool. Look at that.
And this is the outline. What is a podcast? What are the benefits of starting one? How to start a podcast, including equipment, podcasting tips, defining the. Now, this could also, by the way, and there's people using it this way. You could write an industry specific book, and here's your chapter titles.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? You've got
now
your book right there.
Now watch this. Watch this. So I'm copying again. Copy. Now I'm going to go to the sentence expander, if I can find it. Oops.
This software is very robust. I mean, just look at all of the features in terms of, emails, blogs, Facebook ads.
So I'm going to take one sentence at a time.
Okay.
So I put the first topic, right? What is a podcast? And what are the benefits of starting one? Right. So I've written nothing at this point, right? Other than how to start a podcast. It gave me a topic idea. I took the topic idea, pasted it in. It gave me an outline. I took the first piece of the outline, and now I'm saying, expand on that, Jarvis. Tell me more about that.
Yeah.
And it gave me this. It gives me a little bit longer sentence. And then there's a way to, so let me copy this again, or I could have taken, actually, let me do this. So a podcast is a great opportunity to share your thoughts. These days, podcasts have become more popular than radio shows because they're easy to access. You can listen anytime. So that's,
there you go.
That's decent. But
if I want to steal that.
Absolutely. But then you can go to, or you could just start over here. This one I haven't played with much. Let me go back to the other one. Let me just go to the long form. And I'm still learning this. Like, I'm literally have not done much. There's guys that can do a lot of this a lot faster.
Does this platform have like a video lesson on accessing all this, or have you just kind of played around?
They've got some videos that they do where they do trainings and things like that.
Okay.
Let's see. For that. I think that goes here. So we're going to do how to start a podcast. Starting a podcast. So that's all I've given it to work with, which they came up with, right? So how to start a podcast. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? Well, now is your chance. Here are some simple steps you will need to start off on the right foot. What you will need: a computer with internet access, a microphone. You could use an XLR mic or a kind of basically have to condenser mic.
Mm-hmm.
You see down here in the corner, it's like you need to write a little bit more on your own.
Mm-hmm.
With USB plug-in, blah, blah, blah. You could start writing.
Sure.
You could go back and pull some of the stuff that we had. So a lot of times you want to keep multiple windows open so you can just go back easier and copy and paste.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can see like this alone, if this is all you had, would break the blank screen, the blank screen blues. That's what we call it. So you could take those 6 steps that I came up with, you could list them here, and then it would basically start writing longer. Now, the boss mode version that they just came out with, you'd literally like type right here, like Jarvis, expand on the above. Let's see if
gotcha.
Expand on above. So it gave me a little bit more, right?
Sure.
So you started in, then just copy and paste and kind of play around and do it. So again, it's an assistant. It's not a full blown done for you writer. But you can see that, like, especially if you kind of know where you're going, it can really speed up the writing process for SEO. And there is a way to this will integrate with another subscription called Surfer SEO, and it'll actually pop up and show you which keywords you need to be adding to get ranked faster.
Okay.
So, pretty cool stuff.
Surfer.
Surfer SEO, I think is what it's called.
Surfer SEO.
Okay. Yeah, let me. This is the one. There's an integration between the two, so you'd have to have, you know, 2 different subscriptions. Sure. But you would pull these together.
Oh, it's interesting. They look very similar pages. I wonder if,
yeah, I think Conversion AI might have bought or starting to buy them or something like that. So yeah, they look very similar and they play well together, and you get a score. So as Jarvis is writing, Surfer SEO will say, well, look, you need to use the word brand 3 out of 4 times for this article.
I love that.
So you figure if you took something like, you know, Ahrefs or SEM Rush to do your keyword research for whatever you're going to talk about, bring that over to Jarvis, start writing, and then hook up Surfer SEO, and you'll have a pretty powerful, you know, threesome there, you know, and all 3 of those tools together are probably $300 a month. Yeah. So they're about $100 a month each. But you would speed up whoever's your writer, or you'd be able to deliver a much more robust outline to a freelance writer, and they could just polish it up. So pretty cool stuff.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's incredible. What a great,
I don't even have an affiliate link for this stuff. It's just fun to talk about.
No, it is. And I mean,
that's good marketing right there for them, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It is. And I tell you, for a guy you don't have to worry, you know, your job as, you know, given your background and some of the emails and all the stuff, you know, your background, you never have to worry. This stuff is not going to ever supplant a copywriter, but what it does is it enhance your ability to get your messages out quicker, right? I mean,
exactly.
So your time is valuable. Everyone, you know, if you run a business, your time's valuable. This is just meant to get the idea going, spurred along, so you don't have to sit there for 10 minutes at a blank screen figuring, let's see, what am I going to write today?
And if that's all it ever did, it would be worth it.
Absolutely.
You know, but the fact that it can actually help you write the stuff, and as you get better and better with it and you learn what it can do. I showed this to a friend of mine who's a freelance writer as well, and she does a lot more like SEO type writing. She wrote an entire blog post start to finish. She was with somebody and she just asked them for an idea prompt. And he's like, well, my parents own a doctor's office. Like, what would we do? And they came up with he gave her a title. And I think she said in 13 minutes, she wrote like a 300-word blog post in 13 minutes.
Wow.
That's pretty, she did the blog outline, put it in the editor, expanded everything, you know, and it probably needs another 15 minutes of cleaning up. But if she were to do that from scratch, it probably would have taken her an hour. So it probably saved her, you know, half the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, again, they're very clear. It's an assistant. It's not a replacement. And I think, you know, Craftly, when we talked to her, she said the same thing. This enhances, it doesn't replace.
Yeah. No doubt.
So yeah,
it's a great replacement. Yeah. I mean, you know, there's a lot to dig in there, but you've got a lot of options, like Facebook post, things like that. You know, I know companies, they neglect Facebook posting, you know, so many things going, but you could probably reel out, you know, a number of Facebook posts at one time on this, and then just drip them out, you know, throughout the week. And
absolutely,
there's your work done right there. So,
yep,
amazing. Sean, it's been fun, man. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how can our listeners, if they have questions, like talking just sales, copywriting, if they want to get in touch with you, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
Oh, it's a good question. Don't take a lot of new clients right now, but SeanMcCool.com, SEAN.
Fax machine, right? You take faxes? Yeah. You take faxes?
Take a fax. Yeah, send me a pigeon. My window's always open.
Yep.
SeanMcCool.com, SeanMcCool, just like it is on the screen here, SeanMcCool.com. Sure. That's actually some consulting and things I do for like corporate clients, but you can reach out to me there. I'll be changing that site a little bit as always, right? Websites are always changing. So that's the easiest way, or you can get in touch with Jonathan. He can forward your email on to me as well.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. Well, this has been fantastic. I appreciate it, Sean. Again, the software is conversion.ai. You can start out with like a starter. I think they've got it's like a 3-tier now that they've added that boss version, but I think they've got 3 levels. You're definitely going to want to get to at least the pro level, because I've tried the beginner level, and you're so limited in what you can do.
You're also limited on characters or words that it can produce.
Yeah, so I think it's like 20,000 words, which sounds like a lot, but if you think about it,
once you start playing with it, like it racks up words pretty quick.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'd suggest just go straight to the pro. I mean, it's $100 and something a month.
Yeah, I think it's 119, 109, something like that. But
yeah.
But we'll post a link to it again. Probably need to check to see if they have an affiliate. But yeah, conversion.ai and surferseo.com. We'll be posting links to both of those resources so our listeners can check it out. And Sean, again, appreciate your time today. It's been fun.
All right.
Cool. All right. That's a wrap in broadcast.